Hi friends, this is Lindsay, and this is my recap of our Pear Deck training that we did yesterday. So Pear Deck is an interactive way to make your slides active. Your students can use them. To do it, the first thing you need to do is sign up for an account. So you're going to go to peardeck.com and you're going to sign in as a teacher, use your MCPS email. And it will, once it opens up, you'll get, the first 60 days, you'll get a premium account, and then it'll go back down to a regular account. But this is something that your school can purchase for your school to have an account. So if you like it, I encourage you to contact your media specialist. So once I've logged in, what I can do is I can access all the files on my drive, and I can turn any of my Google slideshows into an interactive file for my students. So currently I have active sessions just for this training, some of my summer courses. So I can create an active session, which means that my students will be able to access it. I have to make them active, and you only want to do this right before you start. So what I did is I set up an active session for you today. And what you would do is while you're in this training, please go to Join PD, and I will show you how I do this. So on my screen, you're going to go to joinpd.com, and up in my right corner is my link that what students would use, or what for right now what you'll do. So you're going to go to joinpd.com and type in RTKTK to be able to access this live, and I'll leave this lesson up live for everyone so you can access it as we go. So RTKTK. And again, you can pause to be able to go back to this. So what that does is that'll take you into my live student session. I control the student session. When you first join, it will say how you're feeling. So I feel great. And sometimes, we need to get that little feeling to figure out how our kids are doing. What I control on my screen is what you will see. And then I will release it live after the session so that you'll be able to see and you can navigate on your own. So during our live session, it'll always start with feelings. This is something that you can do on your screen. You can draw anywhere on the slide. You can get kids to write on them. Type in your name and your favorite color, and on your screen, you will see it looks like this. It'll say, and it'll have an answer box. So I can type in, "Hi, my name is Lindsay," and I'll write blue. So when students write this in, you're going to be able to see their responses live. So now I'm back to the teacher screen, and at the bottom I can click on show responses, and that will show me all the teachers, because we did during our live training, everyone's answers, and I can see live on my screen. I can share with students if I want what everyone's answers are. Oh, great discussion starting. Oh, look, you guys have the same favorite color. Just a great way to kind of start classes off, get kids engaged. You can get what do you wonder about today's topic? Do a see, think, wonder. Children have the opportunity to write. You can do a free response. And you'll be able to engage all of this on our live, on my live slides. So, we did a practicing, color some yellow, color some pink. You can do math problems with it. Currently, I'm using Pear Deck for we're on high responses. So it'll look like this, and you're able to write on it, and students can insert their own information. There are pre-made slides on Pear Deck, but you can, again, use all of your own. This is from our math set. And so I was doing this today with my students to get them engaged, part of our fluency, working on breaking apart numbers. So my students all were able to kind of go on and add the numbers in, right? You do need to spend a few minutes talking about the sizer, how they can make it bigger and smaller. They're all going to start super big, and you're going to be like, oh, can't read that number. And making it small, they want to change colors, but they get really excited by it. So 5, I could break apart into 3 and 2. And that live answer will then show up on your screen as the teacher. So I'm jumping between student and teacher mode right now just on this video so you can see it. But it's really neat. I do calendar with my students. So we're going in and adding a calendar piece each day. So I can make pattern pieces that I move. And then this big blank area is where the pieces show up for the students. So let me flip the student screen. So my kids will say, oh, they'll figure out it's an ABC pattern. They'll go, care. Fish, cat, dog, fish, cat, dog. Oh, what comes next? It's a fish. So we can move the fish right over onto the spot. And then as a teacher, I can say, oh, great job. Let's check. Did everyone get it? Oh, some people continued the pattern on. I just wanted the one in the square. So you can see that they all figured it out. It's pretty cool. There's a lot of features. I do calendar with them. So yesterday, today, tomorrow. This is kind of old school. Oh, it's Wednesday. I can see we need to figure out what day it is. So they can also change their answer if need be. This will be part 1 of my video, and it's about to cut me off. So I will blend them together, and then I'll talk to you a little bit how we do the problem sets. The next part I want to show you is how we do problem sets. I do a must do and a can do. So obviously kids move at their own speed. My children had to get problems 1, 2, and 3 done. Those that finish go on to 4 and a number bonds part. But I'm literally snipping part of the slide for the kids so that since so many don't have printers, they can do it live. They can annotate on it. What's neat is that with the premium package, you're able to record audio on it. So on my student slide, you can see this is a student view. In the bottom right corner, right here, there is headphones, and the headphones icon will read it to them live. So my teammates and I have recorded.
Listen to the problem set. Fill in the number sentence.
So that we can record and do that. So we've been taking turns doing that. Kids can then live annotate on the slide. Cecilia has 9 bows. Some have polka dots, some have stripes. How many polka dots and how many striped bows do you think it is? So they're coming in, changing their size, making their polka dots. So you can see, live how they're doing. And this again shows live on your screen how they're doing. So I'm back to the teacher view. So show responses. You can see the responses that the kids put in. I put a name box in the corner because live, it doesn't show their names so that I know who's. When you save it, when you're done, you can review afterwards and it will have their names show up. So I think it's just a issue just with live teaching. You can't see their names. So I just put a name box in the corner and I can scroll down and see, oh, Shannon, you didn't finish. So she can go back and add those to her screen. It is neat that you can really do it live. And this is how I've been able to work with my students through their problem sets. We've also you can put in snippets from any worksheet, any activity. This is part I may do, working on number bonds, making numbers of 10. And this is what we've been working on in class. There's opportunities for closure, 2 things you learned in today's lesson. And of course, you can always do a survey. Do you love Pear Deck? And it's been a great response from the students. They really have enjoyed it. So I'm going to leave this live up for anyone who's watching it now who couldn't make our training. How do you add all this? Great. I've made an account now. What, Lindsay? So what's cool I figured out is that for little ones in kindergarten, first grade, it would probably be easier instead of typing the letters like you did. I'm able to put a live link from my MCPS into my page. But I do not recommend posting the link until literally the night before and you're sure you're good to go. Because once you load up a class, you can't make changes to it. So my kids would just click here for their live link for today's class and click on Pear Deck, and it will open up on their screen live for them to do. So it'll start for them. So I know that they're ready. And so my parents have been loading this when they are logging into Zoom. So they log into Zoom and they open up Pear Deck in a second window. So we do our live lesson on my Google Slides, and then we add in our Pear Deck section, the second half of the class. I try to make sure that it's the second half so that kids are able to move at their own speed, and then when they finish, they've turned in their work. A couple other questions we learned in this session. You are able to add a button on the left side of your page that you can add through your settings. If you want to make it, especially for older students who can type in the letters, if you click on settings, and then we're going to go to apps. If you click on our arrow here, our redirect tool, and you need to install it. It's not there right now. You're able to add in our Pear Deck. So I can make a link for Pear Deck. And this tool is right here. So app.peardeck.com/join. That will show up in your, I like to open a new tab, but that's just me. You don't have to have it open a new tab. It can open directly in my MCPS, and that might be helpful for students. So when I click on home, let's see. It should pop up right here at the bottom. And I can move this up in the order of my things. So when I go to Pear Deck tab, the kids can just type the code in right there in my MCPS. So that can be an easier way for you if your students are able to type in the code each session. And that would be the code up in the corner of your screen. One of the last things I forgot to mention is that during your live session, you can change from you, the teacher, leading them, and they can't change their screen to self-paced. So I do this during our problem set. And in the bottom corner here, there's 3 dots. You click on it and you can go turn on self-paced. And I'm going to leave our program self-paced for anyone who does it later. But that means that the students now have control of their page and they can move forward and backward through pages on their own. So that if you have students, obviously, who work faster than others, you can let them move self-paced through the rest of your activity. I don't know how to stop it. I don't think there's a way to kind of stop it. So you don't want to have other things that you want to teach with after that point. I was asked, how do you see student work after sessions? So I closed my live session from this morning, and I would on here, there's a button you can click to close it. I could reopen it if I want to, and I can click on it, and what it will do, it will open today's live session, and I can review my student work, and all student names will pop up with it. So you can see this was today's morning activity, and I can see my students' work from their class. And Riwaz had a little fun drawing, and that's what will happen. A lot of times I start with just a chance to draw so they don't go crazy. But some of the kids will see, really understood it. They were able to draw. Some kids are still struggling with the tools, but they're getting better and better at it each time. And it'll show the students' names. That's Ina, and she was in a bad mood when class started today. You can see it'll have Josh. I put the name button just for the live sessions, but for reviewing afterwards, it will give their name on the bottom of the screen. And you can go through and to see how they're doing, checking up. There's my model, and I model as a student. So I open a student, a second window as a student during live classes to model. You can't model on the teacher slides. But you can see like most of the kids were getting it. They're figuring out how to do different combinations of a number. So you can see after the fact, if you want to go back and review how they're doing. Let's see. To add slides, it's really easy. If you have your Google Slides open, anything you've already made, you can just take it. There's an add-on app. So you click on add-ons, and there's Pear Deck for Google Slides, open Pear Deck. And what it will do is it will open on the right side of my screen. And I have options to add text, choice, numbers, website, draw, draggable. And these are part of the premium features. When you go down to regular account, it'll just give you draw and text. But if I want kids to draw, I click on draw, and it'll add a draw line to the bottom of my slide to make it an interactive slide. And you just leave the Pear Deck slide here. So now that this slide has the bar, it will be interactive. And whatever you ask kids to do on it, they're going to be able to do it. You can add audio right here. So that's how we've added audio recordings on most of our slides. And that's available with the premium features. It's not available with the regular account. That's why we're encouraging, this is something that your media specialist can buy for your school if you think it would be helpful for your team and your grade levels. Pear Deck is one of the ones right now that currently requires parental approval. So we were told at distance learning, we're able to send out a Google form to parents to invite them to do it. And we showed this in our first class, and every parent signed off, which blew my mind because that never happens with anything we do. And so we just sent out a Google form. It had to have your student name, parent name, the date they're signing, our teacher's name, just to help with sorting the kids in the classes. And it's been a real benefit. I also post for students in modules. I post the assignments in Kami to support some of my students so that in case they couldn't log on that day, or they prefer to do the assignment on paper, they can still print it. I'm not forcing everyone to use Pear Deck, but the kids are really enjoying it. So you can see up here someone's work. They came in and did it. So really different options. And some of the kids like to have it printed out and just do it on paper, and then we'll hold it up or send me a photo. So there's a lot of different options to use with Pear Deck. And I hope this answers some of your questions. I hope I didn't forget anything. I'm talking fast because Screencastify only gives me a couple minutes. But, I put a link in for each of my class, my live session. I don't let it go live, though, until right before the session. Usually I turn it on the night before, and then I turn it off after class because I found that kids were going to the wrong ones because clearly I'm labeling each day. But for each session, that's been very helpful for my students accessing it. So like today, I put our weekly printable problem set in case parents want to print the whole week. But most are choosing to use the Pear Deck link. So after today's session, I'm just turning it off for today, and I'll turn on tomorrow's right here. So I hope this was helpful, and let me know if you have any other questions.